everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you are in fact notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now you see that picture up on the screen? Well, this is an elderly man from Maine who was convicted of murder after a shooting spree that left 3 people dead and 1 woman severely injured. And they say his motive remains a mystery. His name is Thomas Bonfanti. Okay, so a man from Maryland has been found guilty of 3 separate murders that occurred during a shooting spree in February of 2020. Now, jurors in Waldo County convicted Thomas Bonfanti, age 65, on Wednesday after 3 counts of murder and 1 count of aggravated attempted murder and 1 count of aggravated assault. So on February the 3rd of 2020, the defendant traveled to 3 different houses and shot 4 different people in the towns of Macias and Jonesboro. Now, as a result of the bloody rampage, 57-year-old Sean Curry, 49-year-old Jennifer Bryant Flynn, and 33-year-old Samuel Powers all died. A 4th person, Regina Long, suffered severe injuries but survived. Now, they say 3 horrific murders committed, and Regina Long, who came in and testified, was just an absolute tower of power. That's what the Assistant Attorney General, Bud Ellis, said in a statement. Also saying that, so it's very gratifying. We felt the evidence was very strong and compelling from the beginning of the case, and obviously the jury agreed. Now, Bonfanti knew all 4 of the victims, but despite a 6-day trial, his motive remained somewhat less than crystallized. Ellis argued the defendant set out with a plan to methodically shoot and kill his victims before confessing at the local American Legion outpost. But to what exact end? That remains uncertain. Now, Bonfanti surprised the court by taking the stand immediately after the state's opening statement and laying out the contours of his own defense. They say basically all the evidence will show that we had a couple of accidents, self-defense, and I took all the evidence. I think all the evidence will show that. This is what he said, honey. He clearly thought he was running the game and going to get off. They said the oddity was acknowledged by the defense itself. I mean, because even the defense's own attorneys thought he was crazy to get up there and say that. He says, they say, I've done a lot of trials and I have never had a client to do his own opening. So this was unique, says Jeff Toothaker, Bonfanti's defense attorney. And he would later tell Portland CBS affiliate WGNE, saying, I'm curious as to how it impacted the jury. Honey, I've never seen that either. I have never seen someone get up there, a defendant, especially one accused of something so heinous, right? Murder. 3 murders, no less. A whole mass shooting spree. Now, or shall I say a spree shooting, killing. And he got up there and he wanted to give his own opening statement rather than have his attorney do so. I mean, he must have clearly thought that was going to be, so dramatic or whatever. Well, he's convicted. Now, during his opening statement, the defendant said that witnesses would testify that after the shootings, he laid $789 on the bar and said, this is my cremation money. I just shot 7 people and I snapped. They finally made me snap. This is what he said. I already played the mental illness card before he even gets caught. Before they even realize who did it, he's already setting it up to play the mental illness card. No, I just snapped. That's what he said. Well, if you snapped, at the end of the day, these people were in all separate locations, living independent of each other. And so he went to all different locations to kill these people because he snapped. Please miss me with it. I mean, people snap when they walk in and catch their spouse in bed with somebody else. That's the reason people snap. Not saying it's a reason for them to kill anyone, because surely it's not. But I'm just saying that could be something like that would be considered someone snapping. What he did was him just being nefarious, wicked, and the true devil that he's always been born to be. He's a psychopath. All right, please pay attention. Now, they say indeed 3 witnesses testified that Bonfanti walked into the Macias American Legion and said something to the effect of, this is my creation money, okay, and saying that he just snapped. Now, perhaps hinting at his motivations, the defendant would later tell jurors that all of his victims were drug addicts who had serious records while he didn't have such a criminal history. So I want y'all to pay attention. This devil sitting up there, victim shame. We're talking about they all had drug issues and they all had crimes on their records, serious records, and he'd never even had any such criminal history. Well, now you got a criminal history, fool. You old bat. Now you have a criminal history. Okay, you murdered 3 people, triple homicide. What's he talking about? And so he's supposed to be better than them because they were on drugs and had criminal background. Is that why he thought that he could kill them and get away with it? I'm so glad you asked. Of course, that's why. Of course, that's why. Just like Ed Buck. That's the same reason he was doing all that stuff that he's been accused of, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, because he thought nobody cared about any of those people. Now, they say, or maybe there simply wasn't much of a motive at all, as evidence presented at the trial was inconsistent, with Bofanti also claiming he was upset because of a rumor that funds had been stolen from the Veterans Social Club. Oh, so any old excuse will do. So now that's probably a reason that he killed these people. I cannot. But while the money issue was used by the defendant to explain his underlying reason for traveling to the homes in question that awful day, he insisted it was not his motive for shooting, and the killings were both accidental and in self-defense. Oh, Lord, he is really spreading the lies on that, right? Using lies as alibis, honey, is what he is doing. He said that it was accidental and in self-defense. Okay, we believe you, Bofanti. I mean, this is also, you can't make this stuff up. Now, Bofanti told a story about struggling with Long before she was shot several times. She disputed that account, saying that she was serving him coffee when he held his gun to her neck and squeezed a trigger. He shot this poor woman in her neck. She would play dead on the floor to avoid being murdered. Oh, my goodness. Long also said she had no idea what her assailant's motive might have been. Because he's a psychopath, and they don't have to have anything as a motive other than that. That's just what it is. They have no ability to feel compassion, empathy, sympathy, remorse, any of those things for anyone outside of themselves. And that's just fact. So the prosecution, for its part, argued the alleged embezzlement issue at the American Legion had nothing to do with the shooting spree. Oh, so there was embezzlement going on? Okay, that's interesting. They say that remains a mystery, Ellis told jurors, referring to a motive. There are all kinds of theories that weren't fully played out in court. It could be multi-layered. We really just don't know. Now, Bofanti's motive, to the extent he had one at all, may be odd and mysterious, but jurors in Waldo County, where the trial was moved due to pretrial publicity concerns in Washington County, where the shooting occurred, they just didn't seem to care. And at the end of the day, should anyone? Because here's the thing. Why do you need to have a motive when this man went out there and killed 3 people? I don't think the motive is sufficient. Only thing it's going to do is tell you why he did it, but you don't need to know why he did it to get that conviction, right? You just need to know that he did it. He killed 3 people who were unarmed, who were not posing an imminent threat or danger to him or anyone else. Now, they returned guilty verdicts on all counts against Bofanti after deliberating for just a few hours. The defendant's sentencing hearing is not yet scheduled, but it will be likely held in Machias. The 3 murder convictions carry sentences of 25 years to life. The 2 additional convictions carry sentences of up to 30 years in prison and fine. Ooh, honey. That is also crazy. But anyway, that's the end of that. So looks like he's going to be going away for quite some time. It really looks like it, and he needs to. It's not as old as he is. He's 65. He looks older, but if he's 65, I'm quite sure he's been doing this way before they just caught him. Okay? Way before. No one really just wakes up, as far as I'm concerned, according to studies, just wakes up at 45 or 50 years old and decides, hey, today's the day. Let me just go out here and kill people. No. That absolutely sounds like he has probably been doing stuff like this before and just never got caught. So anyway, with that all been said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time I go live.